Okay, so the worldwide download celebration is upcoming very soon. In about, what, 3 weeks from now? We should have that actually in game and everything. So, today I brought a couple people onto the channel and we're going to be talking about my prediction for the worldwide celebration, or at least one of them, right? So, today I am joined by none other than the Mass Ningen and Joe Wags. Say hello, gamers.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? Excited to be
Hey,
here.
yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to talk about some Gohan.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you guys probably, if people watching the video see him on the screen right now, right? So you can kind of tell what my idea for the celebration is. But before we hop into it, there is a part one that is on Joe Wag's channel that'll be linked in the description below. And then after this, there's going to be a part three on the Mass Ningen's channel that'll also be linked in the description. So if you haven't seen Joe's yet, watch that before this one because they're kind of just hopping right from his into mine. And then, of course, after this, watch Ningen's. But, all right, so starting off, we're just going to be talking about the theme regarding what exactly this is supposed to be about here. Now, my theme for this worldwide celebration in terms of this video is actually going to be Gohan, right? That's just the general idea. A Gohan based celebration around Gohan's fights, characters related to Gohan in some way, and it's basically just double Gohan. So what this is it's actually going to be a Carnival LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan Youth from the Cell Saga, and with along with him is going to be a Perfect Cell, specifically named Perfect Cell. Now, a Carnival Perfect Cell actually. Cell has not actually gotten a new unit in a very, very long time. The last standalone Perfect Cell named character was the STR Perfect Cell, and I believe he came out in what, 2017? It's a very long time ago, I'm sure you all know. And then for a banner unit, I'm thinking of Cell Junior, right? Just a nice Cell Junior. We got a Cell Junior banner unit before in the past, but he's pretty old and bad at this point. I'm not sure. Who knows when he'll EZA potentially, right? But Cell Junior banner unit would be good. Then for part two, my idea is just a Super Saiyan Gohan from the BoJack movie as a Dokkan Fest, right? And he basically would revive into Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, and you'll see like Angel Goku, kind of carry him, and then he goes Super Saiyan 2, kind of like the Tech Alar active skill. And then banner unit, Angel Goku, right? We haven't really gotten many base form Angel Gokus. Then the Carnival R for part two would be a full power Bojack, because again, that's another character that has not received representation since like 2016 or something like that, right? Very, very long time ago, but that's why I kind of picked these characters. I feel like a lot of these characters haven't gotten like standalone, like named versions of themselves in so long that it would make sense that they want to bring it all together. But that's just the general gist of what I'm thinking. What's your guys' thoughts on that overall?
Ningen, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I mean, you go first, Joe. What about
All
that?
right. I'll go first, sure. So my part two is very similar to what you had. So the way I'm structuring mine is I'm thinking of it as once again a Gohan celebration. My part one, I wanted to do Dragon Ball Superhero. I think we need that standalone Beast Gohan. So I was having him as the Dokkan Fest with the Carnival Cell Max. And then a banner unit Gamma 1 and 2 join forces card, I think would be ridiculously hype. And then my part two, I did go Bojack movie just like you did. But I actually reversed mine. I had Bojack as the Dokkan Fest, and then the Transforming Gohan is the Carnival unit, and then I stuck that with a banner unit Gokua and Zangia to give us some more extreme support. So that's kind of what I went with. How about you, Ningen?
Yeah, I think that is a pretty cool idea for a Gohan. I like both of them because obviously it's the Minato one is basically just both the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan youths that we know, and then his primary rival. And then what Joe suggested is kind of the movie version of Gohan awakening to a new form, I suppose.
Yep.
Funnily enough, I guess if I had to pick, I would probably do it just the opposite way to what Joe was saying and have the superhero one, but then have the other one be the Cell Gohan as opposed
Mm,
to the BoJack movie one again. Because, like Minato was saying, like Perfect Cell definitely needs a new unit. Standalone Super Saiyan 2 Gohan from that fight would be another good standalone unit. 'Cause obviously, we only have I suppose the only one that was relevant, of course, was the Int LR. that got the fairly disappointing EZA and is now aged out. So I think those two together would be very good. I like both of them, to be honest, because I've always been a big fan of the BoJack movie, even though when you think about it, the way the fight plays out at the end is pretty much just a copy and paste of the end of the Cell fight. But I still like it. So I think if it was either of those two options, I would be quite happy with that.
You know, it's kind of crazy. I wasn't even thinking about superhero, and I realized, oh yeah, superhero could also be a part of that, right? My main
Yeah,
idea
for
was
sure.
like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, because
Right.
I'm not sure how likely they would be like, yeah, we're just gonna push Beast Gohan out again, right? I would be personally very excited for that. If it was like either like Beast Gohan and then Cell Saga or BoJack movie Gohan. I think all of those would be great ideas. And it's
Mm.
like, you know, Max, good villain buff. BoJack, I think, is a really good villain buff. Sal's a really good villain buff. If I had to choose, like, between each of the Gohan youths, though, I'll probably say the Cell one as well, just because I feel like space traveling warriors stuff like that has gotten a good amount of buffs, and I'd rather to get a different team also buffed, right,
Mm.
rather than space traveling warriors again. So like, give me like Cell, and we can get like an androids team going, like an extreme class androids team. I think that'd be really good. And the one thing I would point out, the only thing I'm like kind of iffy on is I'm not Joe. You did bring up the fact of like a Gamma 1 and 2 dual unit. Would
Hmm.
that have like the core breaker? Because I feel like that deserves like its own like LR itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that they would do it on a banner unit, but yeah, it would have to be an LR for that for sure. But they could just do another like joint forces unit, right?
Maybe it could just be an exchange one instead of a standby one, actually, right? So
Right. And
yeah,
the
there's
idea is
opportunities.
if you think of the Dokkan Fest ones, like one's a defense support, one's an attack support, so just make the joint forces one like attack and defense support, just a generic support unit.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. Yeah, just like
Yeah.
combine them. Imagine like
Yep.
5 additionals, guarding, damage reduction,
Well,
mega support. It's just make them amazing. I mean, dude,
yeah.
the T War Gammas are still so good to this day. It's
They are so good.
crazy.
They
They're
are so
crazy.
good.
They're almost a year old, man. In two
Yeah, I know.
months, they're a year old, basically. That is
Yep.
insane. I had to think about, but yeah. I mean, I in terms of it, like being likely to be a theme. I would say honestly it's pretty likely, right? There are actually a lot of EZAs that you could say are upcoming that would be able to fit like a Gohan themed celebration, especially if like we're considering like, you know, um BoJack and Cell, you know, Cell Saga movies, right? You can even pull just certain movie characters that having on EZAs, yeah, right? There are definitely a lot of different options, and I mean, since I'm already talking about EZAs, I'll just go ahead and talk about my different EZA ideas here that I actually do have on my screen, right? If you take a look here, my first EZA idea for the Cell Saga celebration is if he doesn't even easy in this GP celebration going on, which who knows, right? This int future Gohan, right? In the future Gohan, I think, you know, obviously would just make a lot of sense. And I always found it like kind of poetic, even though this guy doesn't actually lose his arm, like, you know, the int future Gohan, or future Gohan in general having one arm, and then Super Saiyan 2 Gohan with his one arm, right? When he's doing the Father Son Kamehameha. I always thought that was really cool, right? So we can get that like int future Gohan EZA. He could be quite good as a support unit as well, buffing Bottom Master and Disciple, which both Gohans would fit under. Then we have the Tech Trunks, the Super Saiyan Future Trunks. That's a banner unit that would also be able to, you know, link pretty well with like Gohan. It would help that Trunks, you know, Dokkan Fest just came out as well, right? And I think just a nice solid sub EZA for like Hybrid Saiyans and stuff like that, right? Kind of try to build that Hybrid Saiyans team back up to what it once was in the past. Then the last EZA for part 1 essentially would be the LR Androids because of Android 16 specifically, right? Android 16 is in the name, and Android 16 is a big part of what Super Saiyan 2 Gohan was and how he transformed, right? So I think he's very, very important there, at least for like part 1 EZAs. Again, there's a ton of potential EZAs, right? So I'm gonna get in part 2 real quick here. We have STR Bojack, and then we have Tech Zangya, his sub EZA, right? And then I think those two would just be a nice EZA. Maybe it'll be a little early for STR Bojack because I didn't even want to EZA like LR Turles. But I mean, I think STR Bojack EZAing and then an LR full power Bojack coming out it would just be too perfect, and I think it would really help propel villains just regardless and help truly solidify like the Turles Space Traveling Warriors team. I think it could use like at least like one or two more options still. Um and then Texangia, I mean she would just be like a Bojack helper, I guess, right? Helping support the Bojack in some way. Then the other part to Easy A could be Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? Like I said earlier, like bringing in just random movie units. That Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Goku has not Easy A, and I feel like they gotta bring him in sometime. I think it'd just be a nice Easy A, something maybe people wouldn't necessarily expect to be like, oh, Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Goku Easy A. Like, it would kind of catch people off guard and to be excited for it, while still relatively fitting the like movies ish theme for part two. And then for part three, just like how last year STR Cooler Easy 8 in part three, my idea is give Tech Ultimate Gohan his Easy 8 in part three. Just release the
Ooh.
floodgates. Just do it. Get him out of the way. You know, this finalize that hybrid Saiyan team with this guy. And we'd be cooking, I think, for sure. Just getting that Tech Gohan Easy 8. But like I said, there's a lot of options, and there's probably a bunch of units that I literally missed, like some sub EZAs, like even like the N16 and the AGL so juniors, right? But what are you guys thinking, right? Like any EZAs I missed? I'll go with Ningen first. What's your thoughts on that?
I think you covered almost every single unit I was thinking of, because obviously it's good by having a blanket sort of theme of just Gohan, and then obviously the main banners and that are tied into those two specific fights, whichever two we chose for it to be, whether we were including the superhero one or not. There are obviously so many units that you can then tie into that, because like you said, even though they didn't fight Gohan, even though it's not a cell unit, like the LR androids would make perfect sense because of 16, and obviously that unit definitely is at the point where it desperately needs an EZA to be usable again. In future, Gohan is a great pick as well, even though he's obviously considered. I guess people think about him more when they think about like Future Saga or like the Future Androids part of the Android slash Cell Saga, but he's another unit that would definitely be very good. So, I mean, yeah, I think you did pretty much hit on all the ones that I was thinking to talk about. So, there's a lot of very, very good ones that could come with that, which I think is one of the things that makes a good pick for the theme, right? Is there's so many of these older units that need those boosts. And they've kind of shown with some of these recent celebrations, they don't care as much now about doing them in like release order, and they do more nowadays. I mean, we still get random ones every now and then for sure, but they do seem to be happy to do ones ahead of schedule if they fit the theme. So having a theme that's going to fit a ton of units that desperately need EZAs, I think is definitely very good.
What about
Yeah,
you,
for
Joe?
sure. Yeah, I had a lot of the same ones you did as well. STR Bojack. I think Tech Ultimate Gohan would be a pretty spicy pick for sure. I did have
Mm.
a couple that were kind of like just like movie related that could kind of tie in. So like there's that, and this would once again be kind of an early one, but there's that AGL Kid Gohan from the Garlic movie, the Garlic Jr. movie, like as a more, and he's actually still solid, so he would have to be like a shocker one at the end. And then another one for just a Dokkan Fest, I was thinking, especially if you're doing like Cell Saga and you have a lot of androids, you could do AGL Android 13 potentially, just with the movie tie-in and being a really good android
Mm.
unit that you could do there. And I'm guessing you brought it up, Minato, but there was just like such a long plethora of units you listed. But did you bring up the Tech LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan from the BoJack movie? I would assume you did, right?
I actually did not. Even
Oh,
though he
okay.
came
So
out
I
on
yeah,
BoJack, I was thinking about including him, but I'm like, we're getting a Super Saiyan 2 Gohan in this
yeah,
celebration already, and I'm like, I would rather to save him for the future. Maybe
sure.
when Super Saiyan 2 Gohan wouldn't be as prominent, right? That's my
Right.
idea for not easying him yet, like a pick and choose kind of thing.
Yeah, and then I also had the banner. There's two banner unit full power Bojacks. I don't remember if you brought them up, but there's an STR and an AGL full power Bojack, which I think
Yeah,
their ECS
actually,
could be good as well. And then Int 16, you brought him up, but I would want him to just be a god. Like he could be the ultimate like make AGL Gohan transform unit. So yeah, but other than that, like you brought up like everything I was thinking of for sure.
for sure, right? And there's there's one other joke option you could say, and honestly, if they do like superhero Beast Gohan again, like what if they just easy a physical Ultimate Gohan? The LR. What if they're like, you know what? We got you, and then just make them busted beyond belief. Look, it's not gonna happen, but
No.
that's why I said it's a joke option. But man, that would be really sick, and I think it would make a lot of people actually happy, if they did something like that. Even though technically, like in like 5 years, you wouldn't be able to EZA again. I think it would just make people at least feel content with how things went there. But again, that's also a whole other story, right? Um, but I think there's the thing about worldwide celebration stuff like that is that you have to pick a theme, especially that covers a wide variety of characters. You can't just pick a theme like, I don't know, just Android Saga, like specifically not even Android Saga, it's like Android Saga or something like with a small like certain amount of characters like
Like Garlic Jr. movie, you can't
Garlic
do a
Jr.
Garlic Jr.
movies,
Yeah.
Super Saiyan Rose theme, which actually
Right.
kind of would work a little, but you get the point, right? Like a term like Gohan, Cooler, Vegeta, something like that for worldwide, I think would be a lot better. And I would like for them to go like these characters kind of themes, right? For like worldwide celebrations, like again like a Gohan, Cooler, or even in the future Broly, right? That would be, I think, ideal, and then you can get a wide variety of characters to EZA that may not have gone EZA, stuff like that. But that's pretty much it for the EZAs. Again, I think honestly, like a tech Gohan EZA during a Gohan celebration would be just like the tip on the like the cherry on top, right? Just, I mean, he would be the whole shake, honestly. But like,
Mhm.
he would be really really good there. Now, for free to play units, I do have a couple of ideas as well. And that's like just two different squads, right? Of the two different sagas, kind of that we're covering. Sagas, quote unquote, the movie and the Android saga, right? For the Android saga right here, actually, funny enough, this came up on my timeline earlier. Again, you guys can't see my screen, but people watching the video will see the screen, right? Where you see all the Z fighters here together. In fact, I wonder if I could just like I'm gonna put it in our little like group chat call right here, so you can see the image I'm talking about. But like this, imagine this
Mm.
as like a free to play LR, and then the free to play TUR units: Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, Chaozu, and then the Kid Gohan. Right, the Kid Gohan doesn't actually have any card basically from the same, not the same saga, the Android Soul Saga, right? I mean, Piccolo already has a card. Super Vegeta already has a card. Trunks just got his card. Goku has his card, right? So I feel like those units, like the Earthlings ish, and then Kid Gohan, right? Them getting like their own like kind of free to play Z Fighter squad. And then the main card is like based off of the like Android Saga Chala Hechala opening, right? I think
Yep.
that'd be pretty cool for a free to play LR. Then for like let's say they get their awakenings and stuff like that in part one, then part two they would EZA, and then in part two they would also introduce Bojack squad as free to play units, right? It would give us just a base Bojack, Gokua, Zangia, Bujin, and Bido. And then in part three they would EZA, right? And then it would kind of carry over where part two has a bunch of free to play EZAs, and then part three also gets a bunch of free to play EZAs. Whilst part one has like a lot of the new units, stuff like that, all the new content, right? And I think that would be a pretty good idea overall. Just like giving us a bunch of like free to play units that haven't really had representation. Like we don't really have like a Cell Saga Yamcha, or we have like a Cell Saga Krillin from the past. Tien got like that 50% support. Chaozu doesn't even have like his own standalone like TUR card, right? You know,
Yep.
like I said, that Gohan, I think it'd be great to get representation to a lot of these units. Bujin and Beto don't even have like their like TUR kind of cards, right? So I think they all deserve to get their representation in some way, and they would all help service the main unit. More so like the Bojack squad, the like Z Fighter squad wouldn't really necessarily help Gohan specifically, but it's where Gohan doesn't really need the help like that. Um, and I mean, what other idea? I guess I just thought of like on the fly. What if they do like free to play units and it's all the forms of Cell? So we get like a first form Cell, second form Cell, and then um I guess maybe it wouldn't really work. Maybe there's not enough for cell forms, but you get the general idea, right? Maybe like androids kind of thing. Um, and that's pretty much there for free to play units. I had one more idea at the back of my head, but I mean, what do you guys think about the free to play unit choices? I mean, there's probably some awakenings that I missed, like I think like the BoJack movie, like Physical Gohan. I don't think he's gotten a TUR, right? Or am I mistaken?
Right.
I think he might have a TUR, but it doesn't have an EZA. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah, yeah.
remember. That's where he
I
has
think
hidden potential
so.
now.
I'm pretty sure he does have a TUR
I
awakening.
think he's level 100. I think he needs to get a 120 and then an easy. Maybe he's 120. I'll have to double check.
I think I remember him getting an awakening because the revamp, but I guess I can't be too sure at the top of my
Oh no,
head.
he is level 100. I've got my
Yeah, so
game
Oh,
he
okay.
yeah, because he was like an SR or like an R unit, and
Yeah.
then he awakened a
Yeah,
couple
okay.
times. Yeah, he was like really low. So he still needs a level 120 and then an easy A.
For sure. I think that could fit. That'd be really well. And one thing I realized I didn't really talk about, even in part one, difficult content, right? Like what kind of difficult content could be coming out. Mr. Joe Wags, you didn't even bring that up, buddy. Like a red zone stage or something. Like, what if it's just like a red zone stage of like Gohan's enemies? It's like all of Gohan's enemies. So we could think like, or like Junior, even Nappa when he killed Piccolo. We could think of who would be the next one. The next one would probably just be like second form Frieza. Cell, Super Boost, Cell Max, right? Just like a stage of those characters. And then we can get like a new difficult like legendary Gohan event where we go through all the different forms of Gohan and it ends at Beast Gohan or something like that. Like that could be really cool, right? Um and that way we get like an extreme class event still and finally a super class event. Goku family would help Turles, right, with his intro animation. Stuff like that I think could be really good. Just like two types of difficult content. Since this year, well, I guess no anniversary did give us two, right? But the 8th anniversary event, people weren't really like, people even forgot the event existed, remember?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
something I would want if we're talking about like new events, I want a new collection of epic battles. I still really like that event, and I think they could do something and theme it around Gohan's fights, right? And then
I
I
mean,
did have some ideas for some free to plays too, but go ahead.
like if we get Tech on DZA, Boost Saga collection epic battles, we could just get that, right? Just throw it in there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think that would be fun. And I know like in terms of like already existing units that could easy A for free to play, there is a Tech Baba Shot Bojack that I think needs to awaken in easy A. And
Yeah,
then
sure.
I would be if they did do Dragon Ball Superhero, I would say let's awaken and easy A those free to play gammas they gave us out during that last celebration. That would be really awesome. And then I think a new free to play unit. I think you brought up a lot of them, like the Bojack, like Henchman. I think would be really good. I think a standalone 19 or 20 for Cell Saga could be interesting. And for Dragon Ball Superhero, I think like a Pan Piccolo Join Forces card would be really cool.
For sure. What do you think, Ningen?
Yeah, one of the things I was thinking when you started to say about the on the fly cell and then maybe androids, one of the things I thought would be kind of cool, I guess you could name the event like something to do with like the creations of Dr. Gero and then just have the free units be like an android 16, 17, 18, 19 and then Gero, right? As the five. I guess ideally you want six, but that makes five and then yeah, just have the actual androids and release those in like I guess they do it like they could do it like the Team Bardock and the Ginyu Force one thing was, right? Where it's like one per day and just have them release in like their number order. I guess you could have a free to play sale as the last one then. So
I
yeah,
mean,
you could have 16,
it could just be like
17,
all the
18,
androids
19, 20,
together,
and then
right?
sell. Yeah. So it's like the creations of Dr. Gero. That'd be pretty cool.
LR Red Ribbon Army, and then it's like all Jiro and all the other androids. That'd be interesting.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys want anything about difficult content, but that's pretty much all I got. That's all I prepared, right? I thought about this, and I was like, yeah, this would be kind of a killer celebration, honestly. I mean, maybe I'm a little biased. I'm a Gohan fan, right? But this would, I'd be perfectly fine with this, with the villains and Gohan, right? I think it'd be cool.
For sure. I like it.
hmm Yeah, there's a lot of Gohan fans out there. There's a lot of people that don't want to see more Gokus. So I think that would please like all of those people, right? So
For sure, right? Just ignore the Angel Goku banner unit I talked about, right? We don't gotta
Yeah,
talk
he's
about
not
it.
the well, you know what I mean, as the headline unit, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know. But that's all I have again. If you haven't checked out Joe's part, feel free to do so again. That is part 1. But I think we'll just end things here. We're gonna continue on to Ningen's part on part 3, and he has a pretty spicy choice as well, along with Joe's choices. So just feel free to check them out. I'll ask this and Joe access in his channel. Joe, where could the people find you? Right?
Yep, on YouTube I'm Joe Eggs, and on Twitter you can. My name is Joe Eggs, but my handle is SpongeBob Joe 13, so you can look me up either way. And on my channel, yeah, I like SpongeBob. Go figure. But I do on my channel I cover a game called Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia as well. That's actually probably the bigger part of my channel. So if you're really into that game, really definitely want to check out my channel. And I have a Discord where we have Dokkan, Dissidia Final Fantasy, and then also like Honkai Star Rail and some of those other games I play. So feel free to jump in and check it out.
All right, and a lot of you may already know Ningen, because since we've had collabs like that in the past. But Ningen, let the people know where you're from.
Yeah, so the Masked Ningen on YouTube and Twitter. I've got a second channel, Ningen Plays, which is just for other stuff that isn't Dokkan. So if you ever want to hang out on any streams where I'm not playing Dokkan, I usually playing either some random game I found on Game Pass, or I will be playing new releases on there. So things like when the Elden Ring DLC comes out and stuff like that. So, but yeah, mainly Dokkan stuff is all under the Masked Ningen. So you guys, most of you probably know who I am, like Minato said. But yeah.
All right, so that's gonna end it, guys. Let us know what you think about the Gohan theme celebration in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.